amazing guest with us. Some of us had the chance to spend some time with him in the Maldives, and we were so happy to see him. But before I introduce him, I just want to give us a little bit of a level set. So, we have been used to a back office, which we've had for years and years. And the back office was great, but it had its limits as well. And there were times when things weren't working and we didn't really have the ability that we needed as a company to get it fixed as quickly as we wanted. And that's because we didn't own the back office. So a few years ago, Max in the US, Max Corporate decided that we would purpose build our own virtual office so that we would have the flexibility to go ahead and create the back office that we would like and to adjust it, to adapt it, to evolve it as we go and based on the feedback from us as associates. And so this has been an ongoing project. The virtual office went live quite a number of months ago, the new one, but we've still had the old one to rely on. So for me, I know that I've been loving a lot of the new reports in the new virtual office, but there were some things that I was still a little bit more comfortable going back to the old one. And so now we only have the new one. I think it's good because it forces us to go and get out of our comfort zone. And I'm excited because I know there's a lot to come. And what I've already seen is that the things that we have wanted as a field, the questions we send in, the suggestions we send in are put in place very, very rapidly. And that is just an incredible option for us to have when we have new features that we want, or when we have things that we say, gosh, it doesn't really work like this, and we think it should work like this. We're finding that the team in Utah has been so responsive. They love the feedback. And so it's been amazing. But that being said, it's still a work in progress. Okay, now for circumstances beyond the company's control, the old back office had to be shut down, while the new back office is now our go-to back office. So there may be a few little things here and there that still need to be worked on, but rest assured they are being worked on, and they're being worked on quickly. So let's give it a little bit of patience. I'm reminded of the story from our mentor, Ugochukwu Omyogu, when he told us how he got to be #1 global earner in his company, and they didn't have a back office at all for 3 months. So here we are, we have everything we could want, but maybe there's one or two little things we may find that are not working quite as we might expect. Just be a little bit patient, okay? Make sure you're giving your feedback to either your representative in your market who will work with the office, or if you need to, you can give your feedback directly to the company at vofeedback@max.com, vofeedback@max.com. Okay, and they get all of the feedback and have a long list of things that they're working on. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce our special guest from our US office. This is Mr. Jasen Owen. I've known Jasen for a long time. Jasen has been with Max, I think, since the very earliest days. I've been with Max now for 12 years. So the beautiful thing about Jasen is that he understands Max and he understands the associates, because for many years, Jasen was involved in customer care, in dealing directly with the associates, in answering their questions and helping them out with their issues. And so he knows us inside and out. And he has really been so deeply involved in this development effort of the back office, working with the team in Utah at our corporate office. And so we really appreciate that he's taking the time today to come walk us through the new virtual office and answer questions as well. And so Jasen, you're very welcome to today's call. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, and I have to unmute you. I'm so sorry. And while Jasen is getting set up, what I'll also ask you to do is as we go through, I'll keep an eye on the questions. And as you want to ask a question, because I've muted everyone, okay, so that we can all Pay attention to Jasen. We don't have too much background noise happening on the call. So as you have a question, or maybe there's a feature you want to understand more about, or you want to know how to do this or how to do that, just type it into the chat. Okay, and that way Jasen or I can see it, and I'll help facilitate the call tonight by asking Jasen any questions that you might have. Okay, so that's how we'll go tonight. Wow, great. USA, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Cameroon. We have a global audience today. Liberia. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so Jasen, you're welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be with you all today.
Great. So I don't know if there's anything you want to say about the virtual office, but I know that you're going to go ahead and share your screen. We have an associate login that we'll be using so that people can see live data. And but if there's any preamble you want to make, please go right ahead.
Not necessarily. Thanks for the great introduction, Anne. You covered pretty much everything. I know that we gave some warning of times before where the old VO was going away. And then this last time kind of got sprung on everyone a little bit. We apologize for that, but we truly believe that the new VO is in a better place than the old VO anyway. We were getting a lot of issues with a lot of pieces in the old VO. So we just felt it just had to be time. We had to kind of push everyone forward into the new. We've been getting great feedback. There's a couple people on this call specifically that we're working on some of their feedback. I know Paul has a good one that's got us running around a little bit. So that feedback is great. Please, as Anne said, please shoot it our way, and please help us to make this the best tool you have available. We feel good about it. We feel strong about where it's at. There's a lot of great pieces and a lot of great data and information that you have at your disposal that you did not have in the old VO. So we're really excited to get everyone involved in this website and kind of get you everything you need to run your business as easy as possible. So I'll just leave it at that. That'll be a good introduction for me, I suppose.
Fantastic. Yeah, so go ahead and we'll just let you take us through the website so that people understand how to look at it, you know, the navigation, some of the features that people will most commonly use. And then if people have questions, you can just type them into the chat. I've typed the login into the chat as well because Jasen is showing us a logged in homepage. So max.com/login or max.com, and then you'll see the member login at the top right. So Jasen, take it from here. And if there's any questions or anything that comes up in the chat, you focus on your concentration, and I can always ask any questions that I think people have or that I might have.
Yes, definitely stop me. I can get rambling pretty good. So just jump in, cut me off, and let's stay on topic and make this a productive call for sure. So yeah, as Anne said, we're logged in here to an account in Nigeria. If you happen to be in another country or something, you might see a few different buttons or things here or there, but for the most part, most of the countries have the same information. So I mostly want the call to be a Q&A. I want you guys to kind of direct me what you want to see and where you want to go. So definitely send those questions in on the chat so we can make sure we're covering what you want and not just what I think you want. That's a huge piece of this whole thing is really we're not here to tell you how to use it. We're here to help you use it the way you'd like to use it. So there are a few pieces, actually a good majority of the information is similar to the old VO. It might look a little different. So for example, we've got the dashboard here, which we had in the old VO. We've just kind of spread it out and separated it into separate months and things like that. But you've got all the same basic information. You can see if you're active or not, your PV. your left and right people. And there's information here. You can either hover or click into these avatars to see who are your active associates. Same with the PV. You can click on that and get a list of all the orders going into your PV for the month. It's got your left and right CV for the month, all of that to kind of cover that all. And then it's got a button for you to go to the My Commissions page. As with the old VO, we've got the associate success down here showing some of our top enrollers around the world. That's a good goal for you. You can always be pushing to try and make that list and show your prowess. That's a really fun thing, kind of competitive piece of it. And then, of course, any updates going on about your team, what might be happening, new enrollments, new orders, things like that. These notifications is still a major piece of the puzzle that we'd like to get implemented. We'd like to really open this up for you to use, almost similar to the My Team page, where you can kind of filter through it, show notifications that you'd like to see, and just try and, like I said, give you as much data and information as possible so that you can really have what you need to run your business your way. So kind of some things coming along. Over here, we've got quick links to what we feel are the most important pieces that people want to see: the My Commissions, My Team, which is the reporting section, and your snapshot and enrollments, things like that. So you can use these quick links here, and any page that you are on, you should have access to the navigation up here at the top, where you should be able to access absolutely any page directly from there. So that's
Jasen,
kind of a brief overview when you log in. Go ahead, Ann.
One of the comments, and I'm sure that many of you who are familiar with the back office, you may have noticed that you can no longer see your commissions. So for example, commissions will be paid on August 15th. And if you try and look for your commissions for July, you don't see them. So let's see what the commissions come to. Oh, that's good, Jasen. Yours worked. That's great. So let's scroll down. Okay, so what you don't see yet is you don't see, can you move it to July? Any commissions for July? Yep. And I don't think you'll see it yet. No. So that's something that we used to be able to see, July commissions, even before they were paid in August. And so that's something that corporate is working on to add in. Is that correct, Jasen?
Yep, we have it all but done. We have a few tweaks they sent me this morning to test and make sure it was working the way we want it. And I requested them to add 2 little pieces to it to just improve the view and improve the information on it. And then as soon as that's done, we should have it ready to go into full testing, make sure it's not breaking anything on the site, and then we should have it live for you probably early to middle of next week at the latest. So it's actually quite close for that.
Okay, yep. Fantastic. And then if you scroll up, I don't know if this particular account has any real-time commissions. No, nothing yet, right? So
no.
Where you used to click into commissions in the old virtual office, you will see real-time commissions here, okay, before the month is over. So if this associate, you can see they're not active. Okay, okay. So you can see that they are not active. He doesn't have anyone active left and right. So therefore, he hasn't earned any commissions yet. But if he had earned commissions, then there would be real-time commissions here with the drop down. So the commissions are showing for the month, but once the month is over, for example, July is now over. So now the real-time commissions are for August, but people still want to see their July commissions before they're paid. So that's the thing that's going to be added. Okay, and then as we see how the commissions look, we'll continue to make sure that it has everything we need, because that is, we know, a very, very important feature for associates for sure. Okay, now, goodness, before we go on, this is happening to me a lot as well. So Goodness Uche is asking, why does it sometimes go back to the login page when new pages are trying to open? So an instance being trying to open my binary team and it then takes you back to the login page. So this was just happening for me as well, quite a bit. Jason, do you want to shed any light on that?
It's definitely still something we're trying to look into. We believe it's related to cookies. That's how we use that's our method to store a lot of the information as you're working through your site. And this may or may not relate to how you work through the virtual office. But if you're logging into multiple accounts, we believe that the cookies that are storing that data on your machine are getting confused, and they're not able to follow what site or what account you're actually logged into. Like I said, we're still looking into it. We're trying to figure out why some of you are having that issue. On our end, something like that doesn't necessarily happen. And so one major piece of that is making sure you're not logging into multiple accounts at the same time. I know that many of you are used to doing that in the old VO, but in the new VO, that's not the system's not able to do that. So if you are logging into multiple accounts, you actually need to make sure that you're only logged into one account, you fully log out of that account, and then you log into the other account afterwards. If you're logging into multiple accounts, we believe that's messing with the information stored. So that's a huge piece of that. And hopefully we'll have a solution to that soon with the new setup, but we are still trying to work on that. So for now, please make sure you're not logging into multiple accounts at the same time. We believe that's what's causing things like that to happen.
So let's keep an eye on that one, because I think quite a few of us are having that challenge. So let's see how it went. Even today, as Jason and I were getting ready, we were trying to log into the associates account that I had brought up. And every time I did it, it kicked me out and went back to the login page. And what he told me is that I actually had to click in to the login page and select, sometimes it brings up the drop down of usernames and passwords. I had to select it because it was pre-populated. I wasn't selecting it. I was just clicking, go ahead and log in, and it would keep kicking me out. So there's a few little things, but we're going to work on those. So keep an eye on that. Jason, maybe just take a few notes about this on the commission section. Is there a place where earnings are shown when earnings are being paid on the commission section? So normally what we had in the old VO, we had earnings and we had commissions. Commissions showed us what had been earned. So in other words, let's say your real-time commissions, you don't get paid till the 15th of the next month. So earnings showed when it was paid out. On the 15th of the month, you got X amount, but commissions showed what's been earned even before it gets paid out. Is there any distinction between that how do we know when it's been paid and how it's been paid? Is there any way to see that, or not yet?
Not yet. We do have a My Earnings page planned to be implemented. Unfortunately, with some of the other priorities, we haven't been able to really dive into that and get it developed quite yet. And so we do have plans to pretty much emulate the old VO in that way, having the My Commissions page and the earnings page. So I don't have a timeline for that quite yet. We believe, I know that there are pieces that are missing because of that, but for the most part, you should be able to see anything that you want to see outside of the real-time commissions from last month in between the 1st and the 15th on this My Commissions page.
Okay, so the earnings are coming. No problem. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then Java is saying that Safari cannot open up the binary tree on Mac.
Yeah, unfortunately, our two browsers that are our main focus right now are Chrome and Firefox. Safari and Edge both will have more bugs. We haven't had the bandwidth to get to those quite yet, but they are coming for improvements. But for now, it's best if you're using Chrome or Firefox to access your VO and binary tree and all of that. And then hopefully we'll have time over the next couple of months to get Safari and Edge up to date as well, but they will definitely have more bugs.
Okay, fantastic. I'm just going through the chat so that before we get into other features. So Austin is asking, how do you know you're active? So when you're on your home page, maybe just scroll up a little bit. And by the way, you can see your home page and you can see the equivalent of everybody's home page in the overview or the snapshot and also on the home page. So maybe just go back to the home page, or is this the home page right here?
This is not. This is the My Commissions. We'll go back to the home page here.
Yeah. And then let's show people how they know they're active.
Yep. The easiest telltale sign is right here. As soon as you're active, this green active will show for that month. So you can see here, August does not have that here. Obviously, we can see quickly that they don't have any PV, they don't have a left and right, so definitely they wouldn't be active. But as soon as the account is active, you will see a green active right here next to the PV, and that's the quickest and easiest way to see it.
But it says 100 PV as well, so that means they're active too, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can also look at the numbers and see if there's 100 PV, a left and a right. As long as there's a 1 here, then yeah, that's also a telltale sign.
Okay,
and
so
then
can everyone see the screen? Does anyone need it to be pinched a little bit bigger, or can everyone see it fine? Okay, we're going to get to registrations. Don't worry about that. Okay. Okay, go ahead, Jason. Yep.
Sorry, I just wanted to add, if you're on the My Commissions page as well, we've got this whole box right here that will tell you as you scroll through different ranks and things, and you can see exactly how close you are to being qualified. And so that again is another way to see if you're active or not. If this line is full and it's green like it is here on the associate, you know again that you're active. But you can also see how many requirements you're missing here. So this has 1 of 3 met. And then you can see each of those 3, so you could see which ones you're missing. So another way to kind of dive in if you're on the My Commissions page on your active status.
And this is an amazing feature because it makes it so clear to see what you need to do to qualify for the next rank. What does live transcription mean? What does live transcription mean on Zoom? Does anyone know? Because people are requesting that I enable it, but I don't know what live transcription means. So I'm not sure about that. So I'm going to.
And if you go up to where it's at to your screen and click on more, do you have a
yeah, but I just want to know what live transcription is. What is it?
Oh, okay.
Do you know? Because I can enable it. I just want to know what it is.
I am not sure
fine.
myself.
I'll enable it. It's fine. No problem. Okay. It might be captions. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's
great.
just closed
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay. It means that they can transcribe. Okay. So that's a great feature. A lot of people want to know about registration. We're definitely going to get there. Hold on. Can you go into order history of some kind so that people can understand how to check an order history?
Sure.
I think the audio is fine. If everyone can hear, just type a yes into the chat. If you can hear well, just type a yes into the chat. I think the audio is fine. If you're not hearing well, good. Then I think it's just your own internet. Okay, super. Thank you. Yeah, so maybe just show us how to check the order history if you can, Jason. A few people had questions about that. A lot of people have questions about registration. Don't worry, we're getting there. Oh, Jason, you're on mute. Let me unmute you. Jason, are you able to unmute?
There we go.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I tried to click something else and the screen came down and I hit the mute on accident and it wouldn't let me undo it. So yeah, so to get to the my orders page, you just go under my Macs here, go to my orders. You can do that from any page that you're on in the navigation up here. That should always be available. And you can check your order history there. This is also available in the snapshot. We can check that out real quick as well, but here's the order history here for any of your orders. You can see any order IDs here. You can click on those order IDs to bring up the invoice for that order and see exactly what was ordered and when. And so, yeah, you can access anything from there and you can print those invoices. You can do all of that. If you're in a country where they offer tracking numbers, unfortunately, not all of our countries do that. But if you were in one, you would see a tracking number here that you could click and track that package, see where it's at and when it's going to arrive. Or some countries I know will just enter the date that the order was picked up here. So it might have an order date of 7/19 here, but a pickup date of 7/25, for example. And then you'd know, okay, that order was picked up on this day, or you know, whatever, however that country works. So this is how you can check that order history.
Fantastic.
And then if you want to look for your downline, let's say you go to their snapshot and pull that up. There is the last tab on the top of this page is orders, and you can see both their auto ship information and their order history in this place. So you can see both of those things and how that works. So that's all there.
Okay, fantastic. That's great. So, all right. Now there's a good question. Someone is asking about why would commission be dropping from one point in July to the end of July? Okay. And what you need to understand is that some of the commissions are paid to you in a pool. So at the middle of the month, when a lot of people haven't yet qualified, for example, for Prime Bonus, but you've already qualified for Prime Bonus, it means very few people are sharing in the pool. So the commission might look like it's high, but the commissions are never finalized until everyone has qualified, and then the pool is divided up. The final sales are tallied by the company and the final qualifiers are tallied by the company. So one thing we've been thinking about is not to show any Prime Bonus or Rank Bonus qualifications whatsoever and have your commissions not show that at all until around the 15th of the month when they're paid. But if you're seeing that, that's why. Okay, so that answers that question. Elvis, you're asking about why couldn't we sort these out ahead of time? You know what? Here's what I would suggest. There is nothing that will stop you from doing your business, okay? So whatever you focus on grows. There is absolutely nothing. If you're complaining, other people will be rank advancing. So they're all fine. There's no big issue. It's all manageable, and they will all, everything, every little thing will get fixed. And we already have far more we can do in the new virtual office than we ever did before. I'm very excited by having reports like Prime Bonus and things like that. So don't worry, everything can be done very well. We're going to get to the registration because a lot of people have questions about that. Okay, registration. Okay. Okay, so why don't we go to registration for right now? Okay, because I think that is a big deal for most people. We have, while you're getting to registration, Carmen is asking about the mobile version. I'm not sure it's possible for us to teach on the mobile version. I don't know that, Jason, but I think for the sake of a big screen, we need to teach you on the big screen. The mobile version just shrinks that. So it's not going to be any different. It's just going to be harder to see on a Zoom. So once you understand how to use the virtual office, you'll be able to do it whether it's on mobile or whether it's on the virtual office, on the desktop. Okay, so go ahead, Jason.
Okay, yeah, that's, so for enrollment, there's two ways to go, and we'll kind of work through both of them simultaneously. But initially, you can go to your binary tree here, again, in the navigation under My Macs. If you click on binary tree here, it will open your binary tree where you can access the tree to add people where you want them and things like that. We will get to that. We won't go this way this time because we'll go another way. When you're on the home page here, there's this quick link for enroll here, right here on the, at the top of the page. If you click that, it will ask you if you want to enroll a preferred customer and an associate. Right now you need to click on the blue highlighted sections. We're going to update that so you can click on this entire button instead. It doesn't really make sense to have a big old button and a little clicking area. So we will update that coming up soon. But for now, you'll just want to click on these blue links. If you click on new customer, it will take you right to the enrollment directly. It won't ask you anything else. If you click on associate, it will ask you one more question. And that question is if you want to select the placement manually. This will take you to the binary tree, just like it would if you went under the navigation in the My Macs and binary tree. Or you can use your placement preferences here. Those need to be preset. And you can set those in the account settings here, also under the My Macs navigation. So you'll want to set those first if you're going to use those. You cannot change those from here. So if you use those, again, that will work like the preferred customer enrollment. It'll take you straight to the shop to start that enrollment. If you select placement manually, that will take you to the binary tree, and we'll go ahead and go that way to show you that process. As you may notice, the binary tree will open in a new tab. So you can go back to the old tab and you're still where you were on the home page. That way you don't ever lose your place or anything, but you can go into the binary tree and see that here. So once you're in the binary tree, you can scroll through and find where you want to place that person. One key feature that we've really improved and we are continuing to improve is the search functionality. You can search a lot of different ways, find a lot of different people. One nice thing is if you do a partial search for a name, it will give you a drop down of different results so you can make sure you're finding the correct account where you want to enroll. And if you click that account, the tree will take you right to that person where you can work right under them. The search functionality is great. It works very well. The one thing that we're still working on improving is if you have a very large tree and not everyone is loaded on the tree at the same time, it cannot find anyone that's not currently loaded. So you need to expand those legs to be able to search them. But you can expand them and then the search works perfectly fine after that. But we're working on that so that you can be able to search everyone without expanding those legs, and it will still take you to those people. It's just quite a large update that is taking some time to get to. Another way you can do it is right next to the search bar, there's this drop down arrow, and that will just give you quick placement bottom left or quick placement bottom right. That will take you to your very outside left and right legs at the very bottom, and that will just quickly place the person there. So you don't need to scroll through the page, scroll through the tree to get there. You can just do that if that's what your intention is. And then lastly, any of these buttons that say add, you can click on those to add a person in that location. If you do that, it will just make sure that you want to proceed with the enrollment. You can click yes, and if you do that, it will take you right to that enrollment page at that point. Once you do that, well, I guess maybe does anyone have any questions up to that point in the enrollment? And then we'll keep moving forward after that. Is there anything that didn't make sense or was confusing that I said?
Yeah, so Michael is asking about placement preferences. Placement preferences is absolutely working. Right now, the placement preferences options are either balanced, build left, build right, or pay leg. Okay, so Michael is saying, could it be up until 2000 CV and then blah, 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 you know, possibly, Michael, but I think we have a lot of things to work on first. But you can definitely use the placement preferences so that you don't have to, you don't have to navigate in the binary tree. But remember, you can always do the drop down arrows, bottom left, bottom right. And from there on, the enrollment will look a little bit different. It opens up products like you're seeing here on the page. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you need to make sure the country is set correctly. Okay, because if you end up going through the process and then you realize, oh shoot, it's only Nigeria showing, but I wanted it to be Ghana or Canada, you need to do that up front, I believe. Is that correct, Jason?
Yes, that's 100% correct. If you go to the checkout section, you cannot change the country at that point.
Yeah, so change the country first, which is at the top left. And I think you're thinking about making that a little bit more front and center, right? For the registration.
We have talked about that, yeah, having like a pop-up or something instead of just doing it up here and defaulting it. Yes. Okay, so keep going with the registration. I think I'll keep an eye on the questions. There's a lot of questions in the chat, so I'm making note of them. But okay.
Let's keep going with the registration so that people know how to do it.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, like Anne said, make sure that there's two things you should make sure every time you get into the enrollment. First, check your country, make sure you are enrolling in the correct country. And then second, make sure that you see this bar at the top. This bar is your first sign that you are in the enrollment process and that you are not shopping for yourself. If you do not see this, you are shopping for yourself. You are not processing an enrollment. Okay. You don't need to click anything. You just need to see it. If you see it, you are good to go. You can go down and you can start adding products. If you do not see it, you need to go back to the home page or go to the binary tree and click through there again. Okay, so make sure that you are checking both of those things before you even start. Those have to be your first things so that you don't get too deep without having to go back and start over. Okay. Once you're there, like Ann said, you've got all the products right here. We've got it set up so you'll see packs first, then regular products after that.
And just
Okay.
know that the packs are not really articulated well enough. So I've asked them, at least for Nigeria, to articulate them better. They're not well done. So we need to address that. And unlike the old registration, where you just go straight to step 4, you don't pick any products, you have to pick products here. So for now in Africa, you're not actually buying anything online. So all you're doing online is you're generating an ID, and then you are emailing the order in or bringing it into the office with your ID to make payment and collect your products. I know in future that there are plans to have the ability to pay online. Is that right, Jason? Are you familiar with what's happening either in Ghana or Nigeria, how close those options might be to actually place an order online?
Yep. Ghana, we received approval today that it's good to go. And Nigeria will be our next country that will implement that in, but I do not have a time frame on that, unfortunately, yet.
So when you say Nigeria is good to go, what does that mean?
Ghana is good to go, meaning
sorry, what does that mean?
that we've received approval that everything's working properly and that we can actually implement it into the site now. So we received approval from the bank and from mobile money to add that as a payment option. So now we can actually start development on putting it into the site.
Okay, so what do you think the timing will be for that? Is that maybe a month away, or what do you think is realistic?
We're hoping by early next week it'll be done. It'll be in.
Wow, that's very exciting. Awesome.
Yes.
The Ghana guys are going to go crazy for that. So that's exciting. And then
Yep.
a lot of the Ghana associates on the call are also asking about in the invoices, they're used to seeing that so and so picked up the product. And I don't know if that's showing right now. I think that's something inventory has to add, or what. Can you tell us what you know about how on the invoice it can say who picked up the product?
Yeah, as long as that's being added by the inventory people or whoever's printing or finalizing those orders in the office, that will show up on our end. So that's actually not something we decide to show or not. That's purely based on what the office is doing when the order is picked up. So as long as they're entering that, it should show.
It's right on the invoice, I think.
Yep.
Check it. And Ghana associates, if you don't see it on the invoice, please talk to the offices and ask them about it, okay? It's not really a web development thing. It's more operational practice. Also, Austin, you're asking about, can you search in the binary tree to do a placement for one of your associates if you know the ID? Absolutely, you can. Just type in the ID, do the search, and it will bring up the associate in the tree, and then you can place people under them. As Jason goes through this option, what you're also going to see is that when it comes time to complete the registration, you don't actually have to do it from your associate's back office if you are doing the enrollment on behalf of somebody else. You can do it from your own back office, doing the placement that Jason has just done. And then when you get to the checkout page, instead of your ID, you can change it to the other person's ID, and it will actually do the placement and have the correct sponsor there. So definitely, if as Ghana is doing payments online, you have to make sure you're picking the right product, right? Because you're actually going to be paying for those. But right now in Nigeria, we don't yet have the ability to pay online. So right now we pay to the office directly, and then we go and pick up our products or make arrangements to get the order processed. So go ahead, Jason, please continue.
Okay, yeah, so you can also, just to add in about the packs, if you wanted to separate those out, we do have buttons so that you could see packs only and nutritionals only. Then let's say we'll just go ahead and add something to our cart for the enrollment. you can see that this button changes from add to cart to checkout. That's a perfect sign that you've added that. You can also see one item in cart up here next to your name in the upper right hand corner, and you can click to open that and see your cart there, so that you can actually see everything that you've loaded up nice and easy right there real quick. So there's that up there. And of course, you can increase and decrease those amounts here with these plus and minus signs. And then when you do that, you'll see the button says update quantity. So you do need to click that in order to update that. And then you'll see the checkout again, and then you'll know, okay, I've got the 4. You can double check here, you've got 4 items, and you can see in your cart you've got 4. So you can definitely do that. And then to remove a product, you'll just take it all the way back down to 0, and you can see that that remove item comes up. Again, make sure you click it, and that will reset everything. Now you see it's back to add to cart. There's nothing in our cart up there. So there's a lot of functionality just in these little buttons, as long as you're just doing that. So working through the process. And then we'll go ahead and just check out from here. Or there's other checkout buttons. There's a checkout button in your cart right here where you can check out. There's one up the top of the page where you can check out. So a lot of ways to keep moving forward. But when you hit checkout here, it will take you to the create account page. You do need to fill out all these fields. Every field has an asterisk. That is because it is required to have that information. If you are not entering those fields, you will run into issues. You will have problems with your enrollment. So you do need to enter something into every single field. You can't skip any information. And that was pretty much the same in the old VO as well. So you should be used to doing that. But one major change that I know Anne's talked to me specifically about a lot is the password. We have updated our password requirements. This is for security reasons. As we expand more and more into the world, we have to protect the company and our associates and customers. That's something we have to do. So we've really boosted our password requirements. You must have an uppercase letter, you must have a number, and you must have a special character like an exclamation point or something like that. So you do need to put those 3 things in there for sure. They have to be required. You'll notice that if you do not match the requirements and you move on to the next one, it will let you know to please enter a valid password. If you enter one that doesn't meet it and go to the next, it will give you exactly what you need. Must be 8 to 16 characters. It must have upper and lowercase and a special character. I guess I was wrong about the numbers, so that's even better, I guess. Upper and lowercase and 1 special character, and it will give you examples of those characters you can use right here. So then you'll know, okay, I can just use an exclamation, I can use an @ symbol, whatever you want. So that is required. That has to be that way for security reasons. Okay, so that's a big piece. You've got your sponsor information here. When you're going through your virtual office to do the enrollment, your information will populate automatically. As Anne said, if you are doing it for one of your downline or something, you'll just click this button. This is not the sponsor. It will clear that field, and you can enter in the ID number that you want at that point. It can be whatever you want. Okay. So when you fill that in, you'll notice there's not any buttons to accept or anything like that. All you need to do is just click out of the field and it will populate again. Let me.
Can you, do you want to type in an ID, any ID? Or what do you want to do?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, type in 219-376 if you need to. if you need to put an ID in there.
All right.
I don't know if it will actually, I don't know if it will actually allow you to do it if they're not in the binary. No, you see, they're not found in the same binary tree. Interesting. Okay, so
yeah,
typing. Yeah, okay, that's good.
Sorry, let's talk about that real quick. So this is actually good. I'm glad this happened because we can talk about this error that you guys might get. When you're going through the binary tree and you select a placement, that placement must be below the sponsor in the tree. It cannot have a sponsor that is not above them. So that is what this means. If it's not found in the same binary tree, it's not that that account doesn't exist or anything. It's just that the placement you selected in the binary tree to enter this enrollment, it does not fall below that sponsor's ID in the tree. And so you need to actually go back to the binary tree or get this correct sponsor information in there so that it populates correctly. So that is what this error means. So it's a valid error. It means that you're trying to do something that's not allowed in the binary tree. So that's what that is. Okay. That's good.
So you can, can you go back up to date of birth? There's a few people asking about date of birth. Can you go back up to that? And then also, yes. There's a few people saying that the password did not work without a number. So that might be what is causing some issues, because if it's not stating you need a number, but it's not working without a number, then maybe that's what's causing some frustration. So
that could be. I was thinking that it did require a number, so that actually makes me feel better about it. So we'll update that error message to include that it needs a number as well.
Yeah, so just maybe double check it first, Jason, and then see. Okay, and then the date of birth. Did you describe how it has to be done? Because people are asking that there are some challenges with putting in date of birth. You usually have to do it a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know that in different parts of the world, and I apologize for us in the US, the date of birth, dates in general are written differently. I know in a lot of places it's day, month, year. In the US, we do month, day, year. And that's how this should be entered, is month, day, year. If you just use the calendar, it should make it really easy for you. You can use the drop down here to scroll through the years, select the month that you want, and and that should just set it for you. And then you'll just select the day within that month. And that should automatically do month, day, year. Or if you just want to type it in, you can just type that in and it should move you right through the date, and then you can just leave. And then obviously, as per business requirements, the user must be 18 years old to enroll. So then you'd have to go back and say, okay, so it's 01/10/2001, and then you get that check mark, you're good to go. We have been in discussions to improve this for different parts of the world because people write dates differently. It's something that we haven't been able to talk about a ton or get implemented yet, but we do want to improve this so that it matches where you work locally and there's not that confusion. But that for now is how it is working, is month, day, year. And you can type that in, or you can use the calendar over here to work through that. And you can, work through that as you see fit.
And once you pick the day and the month, then you can type the year in. So if that makes it easiest, that's what I found. A lot of people are asking about international registrations. So basically, exactly what we've done here is the same thing. All you have to do when you start at the beginning is choose the right country. And then the right product packages will come up. The right information will come up. So for example, in the US, you will find that you have to enter a Visa or MasterCard, a payment card, okay? And you'll have to enter, if it's an associate, you'll have to enter a social security number. In Canada, you'll have to enter a payment card and a social insurance number, a SIN number. So you'll find that the process is exactly the same. You just have to change the country from the beginning so that you know what to put in. And then if you're not sure about how the ordering process works and it's a country you've never worked in, you can ask your team leader, or just go to the Max website, click on that country, click on contact us, and you can actually email or call that office in question to find out how their ordering process works. Do they have a delivery system? In North America, definitely it's just delivered directly to your door, okay, by the post service or courier service. But in some countries, like in Africa, the arrangements are made by independent couriers at the office. So if you're not sure about how a country works, ask your team leader, or just click on the country max.com, go to the country and email or call that office to ask them, and they'll be able to help you. Okay. Oh, that's a good point. Emmanuel is suggesting that maybe, Jason, you could just add a notation on the date of birth to indicate that it's to indicate the day, month, year, so that right underneath people know what to enter.
Yes,
okay.
That's a great idea for sure. We can definitely do that.
Okay, great. And then some people are asking, so Emmanuel, you're asking, do you recommend the strong password suggested by the system? Well, that's really up to you. For me, I would never use it, because if I'm registering someone for someone else, or if I'm registering one of my people for me, I don't really know what that password is, and they will have no connection to that password. So I want to pick a password, but if you want to use a password and have Safari selected or Chrome selected, you can do that. Let's see, what else? Okay. A lot of people are asking about sharing your link. It's possible to share your link, but I don't think it's working fully yet.
It is working pretty well, actually.
It's working now. Okay.
The one thing that it cannot do still is the placement specifically in the binary tree. It will work with the sponsor, so you can share that, but they will be placed according to your placement preferences. You cannot share a placement in the tree yet. That's something that we are bringing along, but everything else, you can add products to it, and you can have your country in it, and then you can have your sponsor ID in it, and the person can click that link. They will skip the shop, so they won't see any of the products or packages. They'll be brought straight to this create account page, and they can enter their information and complete the enrollment right away.
So right now, that would be suitable for a preferred customer, correct?
Yep, it would work great for a preferred customer. Yep.
And then if it's an associate, would the system do the placement? Even if you've done the placement from the binary tree and then generated the link, but the link doesn't work yet for the placement, would the system generate it according to your placement preferences, or would it not really work?
Nope, it would work, but it would not place them where you selected in the tree. It would place them according to your placement preferences.
Okay, so once we get out of this, let's take a look at how to generate that link, because a lot of people will find that interesting. And of course, if you change the country, let's say you found a preferred customer in the United States, okay, and you're in Africa, or you found a preferred customer in another country, then you just change the country code and then generate the link from there, and they will add the products that you want them to take, or that you've discussed with them, and then they can complete their information. So we'll look at that in a moment. There's another comment from Java that I think a few people might have experienced. So changing the sponsor information on the bottom here, Jason, this could be a bug to look at. What happened with Java is that he changed the sponsor ID. It showed in the final receipt that the other person was the sponsor, but now the new associate a few hours later was showing Java as the sponsor, not his downline as the sponsor, which was actually how the registration finished up. So maybe you could look at that and see if that's an issue, some kind of a bug.
Yeah,
and maybe
definitely.
Java, just send me send me or type to VO feedback. Okay, send a note to vofeedback@max.com with that issue and the ID and everything so that Jason's team can look into it properly. So thanks for bringing that up. Okay.
Yeah, great one.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, and Austin, you would have heard that answer about how to place people in different countries, so that's fine. Okay, so go ahead, Jason, you can finish up if you like.
Okay. Yeah, so I know, again, something we need to improve still on our end for certain countries like Nigeria. You're going to process these orders in cash, as Ann said earlier. But we do still need you to enter the billing information. This can be, just the same information for the office or something for the time being until we can improve it. If there's no address available, but these do need to be filled out with some information in order for the whole thing to work. If you don't fill that out, so as you can see, it's empty now. If you don't fill that out, when you get down here to the shipping options, nothing will populate. And that's not a bug. That's just because the system sees, oh, I don't have an address, so I can't populate the shipping information. So you do need to come in here, enter this information, select the state, make sure you agree. You can click this box to do same as billing, and that will make it fill in with whatever you filled in up here. And you'll see it'll give you a loading. That's because it's loading the shipping information at that time. And now when we come down here, we see that there is shipping information available. I know Anne has brought this to my attention as well, that we are missing shipping options for Nigeria, and we are working on getting those implemented as quickly as possible. If for some reason that's causing issues for you, please reach out to us with the ID numbers that you're enrolling, and we'll be happy to get those cleaned up for you while we get this implemented, but hopefully a couple days.
Yeah, just to note, Jason, and just for everyone on the call, VO feedback is not there to answer your questions about the back office, okay? VO feedback is for you to report bugs or issues, and then they put them into a ticket and they investigate them, and you will get an automated reply when your ticket is being dealt with. But if you have something you need help with on how to resolve, you don't send an email to VO feedback, okay? Go to your team leader, go to the Max office representative who's supposed to be working with the VO, but don't send a question about how something works and expect you're going to get an answer. Okay, the VO feedback at max.com email is really for ticket items like this link is broken, or this would be better if it worked this way, or whatever the case might be. But it's not for an immediate, I can't do this, please help me. Okay, that you have to sort out outside of VO feedback. Okay, so please don't expect you're going to get a response by a live human to say, oh, how can I help you? That's not what that email is for. Okay, so it's really just to report issues so that they can be investigated.
Yes,
Jason,
very good point. Thank you, Anne.
Okay, good. Just because there's a comment that says they're not getting a response to email. So every market has a representative, and you have the Max offices. So go to the Max office if you need help. If you're really struggling with the registration, worst case, they will help you do the registration, and you can pick up your products and they can do it manually. Whatever you need to do, you will be able to do it with the Max offices. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead, Jason.
All right. So I guess we can, let's.
A reminder too, as Jason goes through this, that you can only register people where Max is open. So someone is asking, what about someone in the UK? We're finding it difficult to register them. You have to register them where Max is open. In Nigeria, in the US, in Canada, in Ghana, anywhere that Max is open is where they have to be registered. So as always, there is no change to this. When you are working in a country that Max is not open, it is up to you and your team to determine how to get them products, how to get payment from them, and how to get them paid. Okay, that is your area to look at. There are different ways in different markets with different teams, but that is your area to look at. That is not a Max responsibility. Max is not open in those countries. Okay, so in some markets, the Max Pay card will work. Ghana is putting a card in place for Ghana registered associates. There are different things that are being done, but you have to work with your team to understand that. Okay.
Yep, very good point. Hopefully one day we'll be everywhere in the world and it'll be nice and easy, but for now we're still working on that. So all right, so then once you've done that, make sure all these boxes have these green check marks. That's going to give you the A-OK that you've filled everything out properly and you're good to go. Make sure you've selected the shipping here, and then you can go ahead and review your order. That will take you to the review your order page. You'll see the sponsor ID. You'll see the enrollment information there. You'll see the payment and shipping information, the products on the order, and lastly, the agreement that you're processing the order. Make sure you're clicking I agree. And as you do that, you'll see the process order button will light up. That is the final step, is processing the order. I'm not going to process it because we don't want to have a fake account go through, but this is your final step. So this review order page is not the final step. You are reviewing the information you entered to make sure it's all correct. If it's not, you can cancel it and go back and work through it again. But if it is, then you can process the order, and then it will take you to the order receipt page where you'll have your confirmation. You'll have the new ID number, you'll have all of that. So
Jason, Prince is asking if the final page can also state the username. I don't think it does that now.
Okay, I thought maybe we haven't added it. I do think we have that as a ticket, but it may not be done. I will make sure to double check on that after this call, but yes, it should. So if it's not, we'll get that in place. And if it is, I'll give you a heads up, Anne, and you can take that back to him. But
okay.
Yes, I agree. It definitely should show that. So we'll get that working correctly.
I'm just checking. No, it doesn't show. I'm just checking one that I did. It does not show. So adding the username would be great. Thank you.
Okay. Yep, absolutely. We can do that.
Okay. Okay, fantastic. So can you go from here and show us how to generate that referral link and add products? That would be great.
Yep, we can do that.
Yeah, and for those of you who are finding it a little bit challenging to navigate around the new virtual office, just remember, I mean, those of us who have been here long enough, we remember when the old virtual office was also new and we were all feeling, a little bit uncomfortable. It's going to get very easy to navigate over time. And anything that is a little bit clunky, it's only going to become better, because the beautiful thing is we own this now. And so Jason and the team can be continually working on making it smoother, easier for us to use. So we're all going to get used to it, and it's going to become very comfortable. And there are so many features that are absolutely amazing that we never had before. So as you learn about those features and as new things continue to be added, it's going to feel great. So don't worry, just trust the process. It's going to be amazing. It just will take a little bit of getting used to, okay?
Okay, perfect. So from right now, we see the share a link with your prospect. If you're in the enrollment, this will work perfectly fine here. I'm going to take us back to our logged in shop page. So again, we can see this banner at the top. A quick and easy way, there's two. You could just click right here on the shop in the navigation, or you can click on the go to shopping button here. And that's going to take you out of the enrollment and back to your personal virtual office shopping experience. I'm doing this just as an example. If you are in the enrollment, this share link should work exactly the same anyway. So you can be in both places, or even you can be on max.com. You don't even have to be logged in. This should still be accessible to you, and you can create this link for your user. But
so, Jason, some people are asking about that link not showing the country. Like, how do you know you're in the right country, and also not showing the person's name, like the enroller's name on the link?
Okay, yeah, we can look at both of those in the link once we create it. So let's go ahead and we'll just add a product here. We're in Nigeria. Language is set to French.
Can you switch it? Can you switch it, please, to Canada or US? Because really, we don't buy anything in Nigeria. So people are looking at how do they send a referral link, let's say to the US as an example.
Okay, sure, we can do that.
That way, we're actually seeing a more realistic example.
Yeah, that sounds great. So we'll just do.
And I'm reading all the chats. I'm answering some of the simple ones in the chat, and then other ones we'll get to when we get to the team reports. But let's get our registration stuff set. By the way, the preferred customer registration process is really exactly the same. You just, from the home screen, you choose preferred customer instead of associate. When we get to the team reports, okay, for those of you who have been asking, there's a lot of messages. Please feel free to type your chat again if you're looking for search functionality. Some of you have asked about searching for new members, searching for active members. Those are so super easy. You're going to be so excited. Actually, the team reports is my favorite part of the whole website. So let's let Jason finish with the referral link so he can show us. So Jason, you've changed it to the US, right?
Yep. Yeah, so now we're set US English.
Beautiful.
We're seeing the US products available now.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and we'll do the ATP. So now we've got our product set. We'll go ahead and click share a link with your prospect. It will give you the URL here that you can copy and share. To break this down a little bit, so if we kind of highlight this so you can see it, you can see it'll give you pieces of this you can look for to make sure that you're looking at the right thing. User type is in here. It's equal to preferred. That means it's you're sharing for a preferred customer. With the way that the enrollment is set up, when the person your prospect gets there, if they could still choose to switch to associate. Unfortunately, the way that it's set up, that option will be available for them, but you can still change.
Is there no way to set it for an associate from the get-go, or is the default only preferred customer?
No, you can, if you were doing an associate, this user type would say equal associate.
So to do an associate referral link, you have to do it from the binary tree placement. Is that it?
It's kind of tricky right now, the way you want to do it. You'd actually you need to go into the checkout and change that and then come back here and do this. So it's a little bit extra work to do that. I apologize. It's still like a work in progress because we're working on adding placement functionality and fixing the associate versus preferred customer setup. So those
So,
are pieces we're working on, but right now it's a little difficult to change it to associate.
let's not do the difficult. Let's for now just go directly to the preferred customer version, because when they come on, they get to choose how they want to buy. And then once the associate link is more ready, then, and I'm sure that won't be so long, we'll be able to see. But go ahead and show us what else we should be looking for in the URL.
Okay, and then so username is another thing you'll look for. You'll see it's set to the username here. And so that's the sponsor's information, is that username equals is the sponsor information. Okay. You've got lang equals en, language is English, country equals US. So this, if it was Nigeria, it would say country equals NG, Ghana would be GH. So that's a telltale sign right there. Country equals what it's set to. And then the products here, they run off a product code. So if you wanted to write those down on your end, we don't have those listed out, unfortunately. But you could, I mean, you could come in here and add different products and see those codes in there. We're planning to add a price list into the VO that would contain these codes, but that's still a work in progress. So we don't have those listed out for you right now. And then the last piece of that is how many products you have, which we added 1. So
beautiful. So when someone clicks on that link, so you copy the link, you send it to them, and then they click on it. What do they see when they click on it? So maybe you could click on it and open it in a new tab and tell us what they see. Is that possible?
Yep, absolutely. So when you click the copy button here, it will give you a notification letting you know that you did in fact copy that. And then we'll go ahead and go to an incognito window here. We'll paste that in there and you'll see all the same stuff: max.com, shop, preferred, username, language, country, products. We'll go ahead and go to that. It will initially bring them to the shop page, but it will right away say redirecting. So the user won't be able to do anything with the shop page specifically. It will take them right to the create account page. This is where I said they'd have an option of selecting between preferred customer and associate if they wanted to, but you'll see it defaults to preferred customer here. Yeah. So there's that.
So it doesn't show the sponsor's name on the top though, on the website, like as if it's the sponsor's website.
Right. It does not do that, but you do see that the sponsor is down here. Okay. It comes in automatically into here. That's a good point. We can look at adding it so it's like at the actual app replicated site or something. We'll have to look into that. I haven't thought about that. So that's a very good point.
Fantastic. It's great.
Yeah. Then they just enter the information and it's the same process at that point. Just go to the review page and process the order and they're off and running. So
beautiful. Amazing. Jason, do you think this is maybe not so important, but you know, as we become more global, different markets have different ways of shipping. So obviously in the US and Canada, it gets shipped right to their door. I guess maybe that could be a description on the shipping section and below. But maybe just as a thought, you know, because for example, if someone's ordering in Malaysia, they might not know how things work. So maybe it just be added. I know there's will call, which is people have to pick it up. So if people don't know what will call means, it means they have to pick it up. But as they look at that, we can see.
Yeah, we do want to implement things we're calling tooltips all around the site where there are little question marks that people can hover on and click on to get a description of that section or of what they're trying to do. So that is something we're slowly trying to implement. We've got a lot of them on the My Commissions page, but we don't have a lot of them anywhere else on the site yet. So we're kind of working towards that, but that's, yeah, absolutely. We totally agree that would be very helpful to the user for sure.
Okay, fantastic. So that's great. I think that gives us a lot of that's wonderful. We're very happy to see the referral link. That's fantastic. Awesome. Okay, so Prince is asking, will the customer be able to continue from where you ended and have the detail already selected intact when you send the link? So Prince, are you asking, they'll have the basket there, but then I think they'd have to fill in their own information. Are you asking, Prince, if you wanted to partly fill in the registration details, would it save it? I don't know what you're asking. Yeah, okay, that's what he's asking. Okay, so that if you were going to fill in, let's say we wanted to generate a referral link and we added some things to the cart. Is it possible for us to complete their information and then just send it to them so that they fill in their billing information or whatever?
Unfortunately, not yet. That is also a piece that we'd love to get implemented, but that is very complex because for security reasons, we have to pass that information all through an encoded setup, and it becomes very, very complex. We'd love to do it, but it is something that is quite a bit down the road as for implementing that. But yeah, we would love to, for sure.
Okay, and do you have to select products, or can they select the products that they want? Can you just send them the referral link and not select any products? So they can just go ahead and select what they want, or they can change the products that you put in the basket for them. That's possible, right?
They could, yeah, absolutely. So right now they can't do it directly. They would still be brought to you have to add a product and they will come to this page. But they can go back to the shop from here. They can change the products. They can go through the whole process themselves if they want to. That's not a problem at all.
But that means you can't just generate the referral link and take them to the shop page. It only takes them to the checkout page. So we actually have to put the products in the basket, right?
Yes, you do need to. Although that being said, there isn't, you can send them a link that will only take them to the shop page. So if you sent them this link, you don't have to type this out, but I'll type it out for us to show you. If you were to send them this exact link, max.com/shop/shop product, that link would be perfectly fine. Actually, we need to add the replicated site as well.
Yeah.
So we'll add that there. So I can't, we might have to put it before. Sorry, it's been a minute since I've done this. But if you put that in there and we went to that page, that will take them, oh, they'll have to select, we're in incognito here. So they would select that. Oh, now it's not going to work.
So let's say
sorry.
Jason, if you went to max.com and someone's ID, okay, so let's say you went to max.com / their replicated site. So let's say 219376, max.com / 219376, not the whole shop, just max.com, because people don't know that whole complicated URL.
Yeah.
Let's go to max.com / 219376. Everyone knows how to do their personal Max site. And then from there, you clicked on shop. And then, so from there, if you clicked on shop, which would then add something to the URL, and then you sent that link to someone, right?
Yes.
Would it, or it doesn't? It doesn't pick up the replicated site.
If you just copied this and pasted it, it would not pick up the replicated site.
Okay.
You could do a couple things. You could remove, let's see, I want to see what happens if because you can play with this a little bit. I want to see if this will take them to the shop or not. If you just remove I don't know if you noticed, but I just removed the products from the end of this URL that I copied. And we might be able, because now we're sending the country and language, that username. Nope, that's gonna redirect them still. Sorry, I'm gonna play with this just a little bit.
You know what, Jason, why don't you play with it? And then if you find an option that can work, well, let's see.
I know that we had it working.
Okay.
So if they've already selected their country, that would work to do max.com / the ID number / shop product. That would work if they've already selected their country. If they haven't, I do need to play with it. I need to figure it out. That would ideally, in the end, this would be a quick link that you could accomplish what you're trying to do, is just sending them to the shop without any products, but to your ID. This is the URL you'd want to send to them. But I need to double check and make sure it's working.
Realistically, all we really need to do, if we're not doing any products for them and they're picking their own, is send them to max.com / your max ID and tell them to shop. Right?
Yep, exactly.
We need to get into complex things. So we can either fill the basket for them and send them the referral link, or tell them, go in, take a look, buy what you like, and here's my ID, or max.com / your max ID. And then they can shop. It's clearly right there in the right front and center, so they can easily shop. But if you find out a little bit more, you can let us know. We have talked about some plans to make it just as easy and simple as possible to get people where they want to go. But you're right. The way you described it is perfectly great. Yeah, it's a great start. Okay, and then final point on this referral link. Prince is asking about if he wanted to, let's say he wanted to put a link in his link tree. Okay, so as people clicked on the link tree, and maybe the basket would already be filled with a pack of Celgevity, right? Or a pack of Celgevity and ATP, maybe it would be like an athlete special or something. Then that they could just fill in their details and check out, and it would be done, right?
Yes, the links are not specific to like one-time use only. The same link could be used a million times and it would work perfectly fine. So that's good. If you've got that set up, you can reuse it. Absolutely.
Right. Fantastic. That's a great, really great start. Thank you very much for going through this. What I'm thinking is that I'm going to suggest, because we've already been on for 90 minutes, I'm going to suggest that we take any more questions about enrollments or shopping, and then we schedule another session for team reports. Okay, because it's already 90 minutes. I'm very sure that we will have an equal 90 minutes on team reports and some of the other features. So what I'd like to suggest is that we cover any little questions on shopping, on some of those things. Someone else had a question on the commissions, that we can't see customer commissions before they're paid. Do you know about that, Jason?
The weekly commissions is definitely something we do not have before they're done. I am not sure that was available in the old VO either.
Yes,
was it?
Was definitely.
Okay.
100%.
I'll have to look into that. That's definitely something we missed then, because I didn't know that was even available in the old one, to be honest. So I'll follow up on that, and I'll make sure we get working on that as soon as possible.
One thing you'll see very well is that the associates really care about their commissions. So that's something that we'll really want to get that button down. So thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Brooks. Thank you. I know you typed that a number of times, so that's fantastic. The difference between an associate and a customer is that a customer cannot make money, an associate can make money. So if somebody signs up mistakenly as an associate, then they can buy associate packs. If they're in the US or Canada, they have to pay money to sign up as an associate. It's only in Africa that they don't. But it means if they sign up as an associate, that you will not get paid a customer commission, but if they buy a package, you will get paid an associate commission. So just make sure that you are the one clearly establishing that. And Jason, while you're there, maybe just go to shop just from the get-go and see, it should say, do you want to shop as a customer or an associate? Maybe we just have to go to max.com to a plain site so that you can see what is described when it comes to shop and associate. So yeah, it should give you a description it'll ask you if you want to shop. So anyone who comes to shop, it will give you a description of whether you want to shop as an associate or a customer. So let's say you order something.
So, and I'll clarify on that a little bit. This kind of goes back to where we're trying to improve with the link as well that we're sharing.
Okay.
We need to bring that associate and customer option off, not necessarily off the review order page. We'd like to leave it there so that they could change it later as well. But we do still need to bring it into the shop. The shop defaults right now to associate, and okay. So it's going to show packs and things right away. Okay. We'd like kind of like you're saying, we'd like to bring that out where they get the option, they select if they want associate or customer first, and then that would show either packs or no packs depending on what they select, and then we'd go from there. So that's not the way it works yet.
If someone picked something, let's say someone picked a pack of Celgevity and they went to checkout, would it automatically tell them they're going to, so there's no option now. There used to be an option. There's no option to enroll as a customer directly from max.com if you have some replicated website?
There is, yes. So actually this looks like it's, I need to look at this because it's given us an error right here technically. It's actually defaulting to a customer, but it is showing packs. And so if they were to select this pack, it gives them this notification letting them know, if you want this pack, you have to enroll as an associate. Is that what you want? And they have to say yes or no. If they say no, they'll stay as a preferred customer, but they can only order these. But in reality, these packs should be hidden as a preferred customer. So I need to look back at this right as we speak, but that's how that's kind of working. If it's defaulting to preferred customer, and then if they wanted a pack or something, it'll ask them for that, and it'll change their choice based on that. It's a little bit confusing. I'll get on that today to try and get that cleaned up and make sure that we have it nice and clear.
And when somebody logs into their virtual office, will it always default them to the country that they are registered in? Is that how it's supposed to work?
Yep, it will always do that based on the country. Yep.
Okay. Prince is asking, can the max.com/login be kept for login page and max.com for the normal website? I'm not sure, Prince, what you're saying here. I don't think it's anything different. I'll unmute you. You can ask your question, okay? You can go ahead and accept the unmute.
Hi, Max, morning. Yeah, so what I mean is normally when you type max.com/login, it will take you to select the country again and then take you to the max.com page. But normally with the old video, if you had typed mymaxoffice.com, it will just take you directly to the login page and you enter your username and password and then you go ahead and log in. But when
So,
you type this
Prince,
on the phone,
are you logging in on a phone or where?
on the phone, yes, on the
Okay.
phone.
So there's quite a few questions, Jason, about phone, mobile versions. So some people are saying it throws you out frequently. Okay.
It takes you to select country all the time.
Okay.
Okay.
So Jason, what can you say about mobile?
I can't say much about it. I apologize. I am 99.9% of the time I'm on a computer when I'm doing my work, and I know that my development team is as well. So I do apologize for that. We've gone through the mobile. We've tried to clean it up based on the feedback we've gotten before. But I would say that the best thing for us is if you guys can just let us know these things through the through the VO feedback at max.com email. I do understand that in many countries, our African countries and our Latin American countries, so many associates are on their phones, and that's the way that you do things. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You're on the go, you're meeting people. I totally understand that. So I don't really have anything to say about mobile because honestly, I just don't use it a ton when I'm working on it. And that's my fault. I need to improve my processes there and my team's processes. But we have tested it fairly thoroughly on our end, and we're not running into those same issues. But as those things happen, please let us know, and we'll gladly look at them specifically. It's if we don't have that direction on what to look for, it's kind of like finding a needle in a haystack, right? We don't exactly know what bugs to look for when we're going through our testing. So that's a great one, max.com/login. Getting taken back to the select country page, that shouldn't be happening. After you've selected it once, it should save that as default. So yeah, I'll jump on that as well. That's a big one for sure. But those mobile issues, please report right away, and we'll jump on them.
VO feedback at max.com. Okay. Any issues on mobile? Because we know that most people in Africa work on their mobile. That's probably 80-90%. Yeah. So so now that we only have one option, we need to make sure it's working really, really well. So that's a great one. Thank you guys for your comments there.
Sorry, Anne, one more thing. When you guys do report that, Prince, and anyone else, please let us know it is on mobile so that we know specifically to go. If you send it, we might automatically assume it's on the website, and it's not. So please always say mobile phone or something, iOS, Android, whatever you want to say, so that we know, oh, okay, this is not laptop, this is not computer, this is mobile phone use.
Okay, and I wanted to suggest something. For those who use the mobile phone, you can actually go to, especially with your Chrome browser, when you click on the three dots, you can select desktop mode, and it should show broad enough, like a laptop or like a desktop. So you get to see some of the features like it shows on the desktop. But I don't know, maybe it will have a little bugs here and there. But normally I like to change to desktop mode so that I can see things broad enough and then not have to experience most of the mobile version limitations. So that's something that people can take notice of.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great. So if you're finding that there's an issue, let's say, like, for example, someone's saying they registered a Ghana associate, they registered them in Nigeria, even though they changed the country to Nigeria, it still shows the person is Ghana registered. Then just go to your office, okay, and ask them to adjust it. Also the same thing, and I've answered this before, if for those in Ghana, you like to see who's picked up your product, discuss it with your offices, please. The offices have to enter it onto the invoice. It's not a VO issue, okay? So discuss it with your offices. Let's see if there's anything. Victor, yes. So there will be, Jason has said they're working on the ability for people to select their own. But even if, Victor, if you don't want to select the product for the person, you can discuss it with them on what they want, tell them the prices, and then select the product. If you don't want that, then just send them to max.com/your max ID and let them pick their own product. Just make sure to tell them to use loyalty and to set up an auto ship. Okay, I think I'm looking at the last comments. I think we've okay, so Diamond Loretta is asking a great question around registration, that she couldn't add a number that's not a Nigerian number. Loretta, how did you add the number? Did you try to put a plus sign? Because if you put a plus sign, pluses are not yet working. Is that right, Jason?
Yes, that's correct.
So, but they're going to work on that. So let's say you're registering someone in another country, put their phone number as the country code. Like, let's say it's whatever, let's say it's Ghana 233. Don't put +233. Okay, just put 233 and that should work. Okay, but you should be able to use another country, no problem.
Yeah, and in addition to that, don't add any spaces or parentheses or anything. Just the number itself. Again, when Ann and I talked about it last week, last week, right, Ann? And we talked about getting that improved. So we are working on that. But for now, just only numbers in there. Just put them all together. Until we have the ability to accept the pluses and the spaces and hyphens, all that stuff.
Yeah, okay. Afosa, you're asking again about the who's picked up your product in Ghana. It has to be entered into the system on the invoice. So the person keying in the order enters that. Okay, I'm not saying ask the ambassadors who picked it up. I'm saying talk to the office to make sure they're keying it into the invoice so that when you can check your invoice on the VO, you can see who picked it up by what's keyed into the invoice. Okay, so that's what I'm suggesting there. I think I'm correct in that, but it's not something that is showing in the VO except for on the invoice. And I believe it's showing on your invoice now, is it not? Is that not where you see who's picked up your product? Is it on the invoice? Yeah, if it's on the invoice, then it's going to be the same thing. The invoice is the same. Nothing's changed about the invoice. It's still showing there. So you should still be able to see exactly what you saw on your old invoices. Okay, so any last burning questions, primarily about commissions and registrations, and then we'll schedule a separate event to look at team reports. Okay, it's on the invoice. Good, so it should still be there. So please just check it. We'll definitely have a training on team reports particularly. But if anyone has any last questions on commissions, on registrations, that would be great. Prince is asking, is it possible to send a text to the associate offline when a sign up or order goes through successfully? That would, you mean automatically generated from the VO, right, Prince? Automatically generated. Okay, I think that would be amazing. So that would be something that can maybe be looked at in the future. Yeah, the mobile site, agreed, Tammy. It needs to be working pronto. It's very, very, very critical. It's working, but it's not ideal. So it needs to be optimized. So please, everyone, I'm typing it into the chat. Any one of you who are working with the new VO on your phone, please, please, please send your issues into vofeedback@max.com and make sure you tell them you're on a mobile phone and it's either Android or iOS. Okay, please, please, as many issues as you have, send them, because the development team now needs to make sure that our mobile devices are very well optimized and maybe they haven't been getting as much feedback, okay, on the phones as they have on the desktop sites. Okay.
Yeah, that I can definitely confirm that. I feel like we haven't received a ton, and what we have, we've tried to jump on, but the more you send us, the better for sure. Well, we can jump right on it as soon as we get it.
Okay. Okay, so Jason, Afosa seems to be very, 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 very passionate about seeing who picked up your product online. So please, if you can just check the Ghana, any Ghana person ID, and check and see how it's showing online in the VO now, to see if that can somehow, apparently it's showing in the VO, aside from on the invoice. Okay. So maybe, Prince, you know what this is like, right? Why don't you take a screenshot of how it's showing now, okay, in the old VO, and then send it into VO feedback, okay? If you could, would you mind doing that, Prince? I know you're on top of the game like that. Okay, so if one of you wants to do that, please go ahead so that Jason can see it, but you can see it on the invoice. Okay, so worst case, you can see it there. All right, any other critical things that anyone needs to know about commissions or the registration process? Okay, fantastic. Great. Well, thank you, everybody. We've gone for a long time. We'll schedule another call for team reports and other aspects of the virtual office that we have not put. Emmanuel, you're asking about my earnings, which is really when things have been paid out. Okay, probably, I don't know. I'm not sure that's probably the most important thing. Probably we need to get some other things working faster. But Jason, are you still on the call?
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, great. So the My Earnings section, when people can see when they've been paid, do you know when that's coming?
I don't have a timeline on that now. I will let you know our plan basically for development that's not complete. Our focus for the next couple of weeks, almost till close to the end of this month, is mostly on bugs and fixing what's there, making sure that everything's functional. And then late this month, early into September, we'll start again picking up on new development of things, which will include the My Earnings and things like that. So I would say at the earliest, probably middle of September, before any new development is done, which would include the My Earnings. But then at that point, it comes down to priorities and things that are assigned out. So I'm not quite sure on when the My Earnings will fall into there. I would say it's towards the top of priorities, but I don't know that it's the highest priority item for new development moving forward yet. So kind of something I don't have an answer for, but maybe sometime in September would be the earliest you might see that.
Good, thank you. But I think the commission showing, like, for example, now in July, the commission showing now before August 15th is paid, that is coming sooner, right?
Yeah, that'll definitely be available next week at the latest. So that is pretty much all complete and ready to go. That one was fairly easy because the development was basically already done because we had the real-time commissions in there. We just had to show it from July, whereas it disappeared when July ended. So that one was pretty easy to implement. But the My Earnings is like, we have to develop the whole page and everything that goes into it. So it's a lot more complex and takes some time.
Okay, fantastic. The binary tree, in terms of navigating around it and seeing enough of it on your screen, that's another question. Is there any plan to do more with the binary tree, or how do you see it?
We do have some feedback on it that we'd like to look through and work on. We feel that there are definitely improvements to be made, but we feel like it's in a really good place with like the search functionality and things like that as well. So we're kind of we're satisfied with where it's at, but we know that there are improvements coming soon. But I would still suggest if there's something specific, just shoot that to us at VO feedback so that we can make sure that we're looking into that as we're working on future development for sure.
Great.
So
Yeah, and you know,
I know that we have, sorry, go ahead.
If there's something that you want to send and you want to demonstrate it, just take a little video, like a short 30-second video with your phone, so that or take a screenshot to make sure that the development team can actually see what you're talking about, and be as descriptive as you can, okay, with your feedback. Tell them what's going on, what you're doing, what you're expecting to see, what you can't see, so that they can actually understand your feedback very well. Sorry, Jason.
Yes, nope, that's amazing. That's an amazing point. The more information you give us, the better we are able to find the bugs or implement the updates you'd like to see. Something, you know, if you just send binary tree is broken, that unfortunately is not helpful. That does not help us figure out what you'd like to see or what's broken. So please be very specific with what's happening, how you got there, what browser you're using, mobile or desktop, everything like that. The more information you can give us, the better it is to help us really break it down and see what the issue is. So yeah, that's a great point.
And the ID and everything, okay? So all of that.
ID and everything,
Yeah, just to be clear, all your old passwords will work on the new VO, okay? So whatever you were logging in with before, you log in with the same username and password. Nothing has to change. When we meet the next time, we'll go over team reports, we'll go over watch list. A lot of you are asking, how do you check your active people? It's the easiest thing in the world. There's so much richness in the team reports. You are absolutely going to love it. So we'll try to get that scheduled soon, so that everyone has access to it. I know there's a lot of questions on the virtual office, but do go in and play around, okay? And you'll have fun with it. It will be great. Prince, you're asking, tell us about the tabs. If you open a tab and come back tomorrow and click on the tab, will it take me there? I'm sorry, I don't understand that question. You can unmute yourself. Do you understand it, Jason?
I assume you're asking about just the timeout, Prince. There's the 30-minute timeout on the site. If you don't do anything within 30 minutes, you will be logged out. So if you left a tab open from the day before, it would not work. And that's probably part of the issue of being logged out as well. If you're waiting longer than 30 minutes, that the site will log you out. And that again is part of the security updates. We're trying to protect your information and all of that. So that is part of that. As part of that, we're working on improvements there as well. So we do have some ideas to improve that, like the old VO where it just gave you a little sign in, but then you could sign right back into the same page you were on, or things like that. So we are trying to improve that. But as of right now, if you are inactive on the page for more than 30 minutes, you will be logged out when you come back.
Okay, thank you. And just remember, as we're sending in our feedback, okay, remember this is a brand new site. It's been in operation for a while, but there's still things to work on. So as you're sending in your feedback, please feel free to do that. But know that you know, the things that will stop the site from functioning on areas that we need to function in to do our business, those will be the primary most critical things to be worked on by the development team. Okay. Yep. If it's nice to have, like, wow, wouldn't it be nicer if we could keep it open a little longer? That will be a future state. So definitely, by all means, send in the feedback, because everything gets ticketed and evaluated. But just know that not everything is going to be addressed immediately. Okay, the things that are critical, like I cannot register someone, that is going to be fixed immediately. But other things that are nice to have, wouldn't it be lovely if, that will be down the road future. But send them in so that they're off your plate and onto the development team's plate. But don't, let's not be too impatient that everything needs to come in the first few minutes. Yeah. Okay. The password is already, oh, Robert, the password means when you're registering a new person. It used to be you could make your password anything you liked for the most part, but now the password has to be at least 8 characters, a capital letter, a number, and a special character like $sign or exclamation mark or something like that. So now the password, that's the password for the new people you're registering. Okay, not your own password. Your own password stays the same. Anyone you've given a password to already can stay the same unless they change it. All right. So I think we've covered everything we can cover for tonight. We've spent almost 2 hours. So you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being on the call. Jason, thank you for all your wonderful work on this website. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. We're really excited. I know it's going to be great. It takes a little bit of getting used to. All of us are finding our way, but boy, when we get to the team reports, oh my goodness, you guys are gonna be so happy, jumping for joy. I love those team reports. They're really fantastic. And anything that we need to improve on, we now have the luxury that we will get to do that. And it won't be so long before everything that we want will be ours, and even things that we didn't know we wanted, but we won't be able to do without. I'm sure those are coming our way as well. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you everyone for being on the call. We'll schedule another call soon for the team reports. I don't know if it'll be this week or next week, but certainly within the next week to 10 days, okay, so that everyone can get used to that as well.
Yep.
If you want it this week, or if you've had enough training and you want it next week, just type that into the chat so that Jason and I can figure that out. So type into the chat this week or next week so we get an idea of who is desperate for more training this week. So this week or next week, we'll just get the consensus. Okay. Oh, a CD. Okay, this is recorded. So everyone will have this if you want it. And I'm sure that we, either the leaders or Jason when he gets time, so probably the leaders will do it in the short term. What we'll plan to create is short little, like 5-minute segments. This is how you register someone. This is how you check your commissions, because this is a 2-hour program. So anyone to sit through 2 hours, it's a long time. But if you could do 5-minute segments, that's going to be ideal. So, for me, the development team, they need to focus on getting things going on the mobile site and all the other things we need. So we can create something in the short term. I'm sure, between Java and Brian and all of us who create things, we can easily create short little tiny videos. Okay, so it sounds like the consensus is maybe next week at the same time. That seems to be the majority. Let's take the time to go in and play around with the virtual office now. Okay, get your registrations going, and then I'll check. Jason, is next week this time okay for you? Do you know as of now? Okay, I'll check with him, and we'll let you guys know. Okay.
Sorry, Anne, I think I lost you there.
Oh, I asked you, is next week at this time, is it okay for you to do the next session of the virtual office, which will focus on team reports and watch list and those kinds of things?
Yeah, that works. If we could do I have a meeting next Tuesday at 1 o'clock, so the same time this call started. So if we could move it to like Monday or do a little earlier or something, so I can be available for that one. But if you want to just reach out to me, we can find a time for sure.
Sounds great. Okay, thank you very much. All right, so let's we can stop our screen share and we can see ourselves. Let's put ourselves up on I'll unmute everyone. Let's turn our videos on. Say hi. Appreciate ourselves. I'm allowing you all to unmute now. Wow, this is an amazing call. Thank you so much, everyone.
Hi, Tommy.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Very much.
Amazing. I love seeing all your faces.
Thank you.
Tammy,
Thank you.
amazing.
Morning.
Take pictures of all of our.
Thank you so much.
Look at you all. Luz, nice to meet you.
Very much.
All for your great.
We love you.
Diamond Brian. Wow, look at this. So many of you. I love it.
Yeah, I see you.
Hey,
Morning.
Esther, Austin, beautiful. Happy to see
Thank you,
you.
Tommy.
Okay, everyone.
See you.
Hey, good night. Awesome evening. We'll do it again next week. Okay, bye-bye. Bye.